Hey everybody, welcome to Swahili Nation, SNOA One Africa. It's good to be back. It's good to be here. I want to welcome everybody who is joining us from X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. It's good to have you guys here. Please do me a favor, copy the link, share with somebody. If you haven't followed, if you haven't subscribed yet, do so. It's going to be amazing. And I have really nice conversation here today. And I want everybody to be able to participate, everybody to see what is happening in here. So please copy the link, share with somebody. Also, let us know. Let us know where you're joining from. Let the team know where you're joining from. That's going to be amazing because the conversation of today, I appreciate. I see some people sharing from TikTok and everywhere. I appreciate for everybody who is joining. This is very important conversation, I think, what we're going to have here today. Because it's, first of all, because it's one of our mission. Our mission is to defend the image of Africa, to bring back the heritage of Africa, sons and daughters of Africa, back to the continent, to decolonize the mind through authentic knowledge, and to create a bridge for oneness and peaceful Africa. And you all know that, man, like, you know, we have a continent and also we have African descendants across the world, across the globe. So these are kind of conversation that we really need, conversation between, you know, people from the continent and African descendants as well. We need to reduce that gap. All right. We need to be bridged. And the person that I'm going to have conversation here today, I think she's doing exactly the same thing. And I'm really very excited to be here and have this conversation with her. So before I bring her in, because she's already here, just waiting to come in anytime, please share this and let us know where you're joining from. I'll appreciate. And I know we're supposed to have this conversation today at 9 p.m. and that's how we told you guys a few days ago. But you know, due to different circumstances, we had to change. And it's 6. So if you're joining us right now, beautiful. If you're gonna be watching this late as well, it's gonna be amazing. All right. So without wasting time, let me bring my sister in. Hey. Hello, what Kesho?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to see you. Welcome
Thank
to the family.
you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thought I was talking to.
Well, I appreciate for being. Oh, okay. I lost you there for a second. Yeah, I appreciate for you coming here, setting your time and coming here. I know I changed time at the very, you know, late time, but you have agreed to come here right now. So I really appreciate you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. So I think let's jump right into it. Do you mind to share with us a little bit, you know, who are you, a little bit of your story, at least for those people who do not really know you, to kind of like know who is this person we're talking with today?
Absolutely. My name is Kia Wakesho Simmons. I do carry my Kenyan name that was given to me about 13 years ago. And I am originally from Charleston, South Carolina, of the Gullah Geechee culture. Shout out to Chucktown and James Island, where I grew up. Um, you know, I am the CEO and founder of Traverse Culture. We are a travel concierge company that specializes in humanitarian work, business development, and investment opportunities, as well as relocation services, all through travel. And we've been doing this for about 6 years now. We were our previous company called World Views, and we rebranded last March to Traverse Culture. And we are based out of Florida and Charlotte, North Carolina, as well as Nairobi, Kenya.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So when I was looking at your, you know, biography, you know, me and you, we do have one thing in common, and that is, you know, South Korea. I saw that you got a passion for traveling because, I mean, as soon as you got to South Korea, how did that come to pass? You know, I started there. I was there for 9 years. And when exactly were you there? Perhaps you were there at the same time.
I was, well, you know, I'm a little older than you, so I was I was I was there in '07.
Oh, seven. All right, 2007. Oh, yeah, yeah, I was not there.
Yeah,
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 yeah. Yeah. I was there in 2013.
Oh yeah, no, I was there in '07.
Yeah. So how did that passion came? Like, I want to know the why South Korea is the place where you actually got this passion for traveling. Why?
Okay, so I'm actually ex-military, so I served in the U.S. Army Forces, and that was
Mm,
actually my first duty station, straight out of basic training. My first duty
mm,
station was South Korea, and this is a girl from Charleston, South Carolina, who had never been out of the country. And so my
mm.
first time out the country, I was 23 years old in the army, and my first duty station was South Korea. So when I got there, the first thing you smell is the kimchi everywhere,
Oh yeah.
and then you get to know the people. And I was actually stationed in
Mm,
Taegu,
mm.
I think right outside of Daegu.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
and I lived there for a year, and Korea
Mm,
just actually became one of my favorite Asian food. I love kalbi and bibimbap, and
wow.
all of those great things. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know how to speak. I know some words
Yeah.
in Korean. But yeah, I just I loved it, and it sparked my interest.
Yeah. Your Korea is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Bibimbap and
thank you.
yeah.
Yes,
I spent like 3 years and I was not able to speak Korean. After 3 years, that's when I started to speak. You only 1 year and you can speak few words. That's
one
really impressive.
one. Yeah, I know. What is it? Kamsamida and Anaseo, Anyo.
Wow.
Like I remember some words. Yes.
All right, yeah, yeah. So I know a couple months ago, I met you for the first time in Kenya, and I mean, I think that's when we chat a little bit. But I'm wondering why Kenya? Why did you decide to move to Kenya and to do what you're doing right now?
Absolutely. So I was actually in Afghanistan, working in Afghanistan for 3.5 years. And when I first got there, the first person who helped me get a better job while I was there was Kenyan.
Mm,
And this was the first time I had ever met a Kenyan a day of my life. And by this
mm,
time, I believe I was 28 years old. So I had never
yeah,
met a Kenyan a day of my life. And we
mm,
clicked. Shout out to my brother, James Milawasi, down there in Mombasa, Bamburi to be exact. And once we started talking and just sharing our back history, I was like,
mm,
I want to go to Kenya. And he didn't believe me. And so I bought the ticket and came to him like 2 weeks later and was like, hey, bro, I'm going to Kenya. So what's up? When you going to put your leave in? And he's like,
mm,
oh, okay, let's go. And when I got to Kenya, I went to Ethiopia first. And I really
yeah,
enjoyed Ethiopia. However,
mm,
landing at Moi Airport in Mombasa and just feeling the breeze and the sun and seeing how
yeah.
beautiful it was and the people. And I kissed the ground as soon as I reached here because I'm like, I never thought in a million years a little girl from Charleston, South Carolina would be in the motherland. And you
Mm.
meet the people, you eat the food, but really it's the people that sells Kenya. And that did it for me.
Wow. So let me get this straight. The first country for you to visit, it was South Korea, and the first country to
Hmm.
visit in Africa was Ethiopia, right?
Correct.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's the same thing. That's the same thing with me. The first country to
Oh
visit,
my
it was
God.
South Korea. I went there for the first time, and then the first country in Africa was Ethiopia.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow, what a coincidence! Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing. But
Yes.
different people, they have different stories. I had this conversation with a lot of people. Some people, they just, I mean, they come here, but they feel like the land has rejected them. They walk away. For you, clear, you had a different experience coming here. But I want to know the process of you moving from the States, coming to the continent. What was going on in your mind? What did you think about the continent? And those expectations maybe that you had, or stories that you heard, did you meet those expectations? And did you have a culture shock, anything like that when you came here?
Oh, culture shock. Forget about it. Yes. Um,
Mm,
I certainly had a culture shock. The first thing that I noticed, and what's brilliant about Kenya, is that it is a sub-Saharan country ran by Black folks, and that
mm,
was the culture shock. If you go to South Africa, no shade to South Africa, shout out to South Africa.
mm,
In terms of modern standards in a developing country, I think
mm,
Kenya is almost as developed as a South Africa. And to come
mm,
here and see everybody is Black. I mean, the teacher is Black,
yeah.
the police is Black, the people on the screen is Black, the cartoons are Black, the bankers are Black. You're not used to seeing that in America, where everybody in charge is Black. Everyone around you is Black, and you can pick and choose when you want to see a Mzungu here in Kenya. So it was just really a culture shock for me just to be around all Black folks in a developing country like Kenya.
Mm, mm. Oh, that's incredible. So did you like, is there any let's say negative experiences that you had? I think it's also important to talk about them. And how did
Yes.
you tackle them?
So I'm gonna be honest. So I've been in Kenya for 13 years now. I just
Mm,
recently moved to Kenya because of the initiative we have going on. I know we'll speak about that later. And
yes.
so since I've been living here,
Mm,
yeah, okay. Now Kenya has showed her behind, and
yeah.
I think I had a nice run with romanticizing Kenya,
Mm,
and
yeah.
reality hit, and
Yeah.
how did I navigate it? I got frustrated. I cried. I said I wanted to leave. I said I wanted to give up.
Mm,
But you always meet that one person again who give you hope and be like, okay,
mm,
it's not all bad. It's and then or I could be misunderstanding it because of the culture
mm,
differences. So
yeah.
some of it is me. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I'm American, and so I like
mm,
things to happen now. In Kenya,
mm.
it's really, really Akuna Matata, and that really gets under my skin. So it's probably partially me and the cultural differences why I've been kind of disappointed here.
Yeah.
But all in all, I love Kenya even when she treats me bad.
I don't know what is the worst of them. Like, what was the worst of them that really got in under your skin, and you're like, you know what, I'm done with this. I gotta get out of here right
I
now.
think that yeah, I think that bothers me the most again is just the man, the take your time. That just really gets under my skin. I just oh my gosh. I still
Yeah.
don't like it. And then
Yeah.
they're like little nuances, like the way that they build their car
Mm,
garages. There's no space to
mm,
get out the car garage when you're trying to park.
mm,
I'm like, who built this? Who did? It's like little stuff like that. And of course, the driving, as you can see, I'm in my car now. I'm actually in the car in Kibera,
mm,
um,
mm.
sitting in the car, and the driving is ridiculous. So I just
Yeah.
had to navigate it the best way I know how, and that is just drive as crazy as the Kenyans drive, and you'll be all right.
Mm. So you're coping with it well right now, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kenya is home now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Wow. Then I think it's important to to talk a little bit about your initiative and what you do. I'm following you on Instagram, so I see how active you are, passionate you are. Every single day you're there, you're live, and I just want to know all about this project and this initiative, what it's all about, and Yeah, let's start from there.
I gotta first say, brother, hats off to you, and
Yeah.
everything that you're doing. I see your passion, and even meeting you in person,
Mm,
was just really, really great. And I was like, we got to talk one day. And I see
mm,
how busy you are in terms of making sure that African people globally are seen in a positive light. And even when it's negative, we talk about it and we address our issues in house. So let me say hats off
mm,
to you first, brother. And to get to the initiative, I am super excited about what we're doing here. It's the first of its kind in East
mm,
Africa, here in Kenya. We are initiating what we have dubbed the journey back to Eden. As we all know, East Africa is the cradle of life. Kenya is a
oh yeah.
part of that cradle of life. And because
Mm,
Kenya is one of the big boys of East Africa,
mm,
my ideology is if you can conquer doing business here, you can conquer doing business anywhere. And so
that's it.
um, the Journey Back to Eden is calling all Africans of the diaspora to Kenya for this Journey Back to Eden initiative, where we are projecting to have between 3,000 to 5,000 African Americans and Caribbeans and whomever else
Mm,
to Kenya this year, starting this June for Juneteenth. We have our promotional dates going from June to November, leading up
mm,
to the main event,
mm,
which is our Journey Back to Eden Summit slash Festival, which is built into a 7 day, 12 day
mm,
trip. And it's a 4 day event where we project to have at least 2,000 Africans of the diaspora here all at once, celebrating, doing business with each other,
mm,
having these culture exchange ceremonies and discussions, looking at
mm,
our differences and leveraging them, looking at how we can create relationship building processes through this
mm.
3 year initiative with Traverse Culture and the government of Kenya, as well as the private sector.
Oh, am I invited? Are we invited
Of
there?
course. Of course. Come on now. Yes.
Yes,
Oh, I
so,
wanted to add that
yeah.
I'm sorry, I wanted to add that we're also through the Journey Back to Eden creating a sister city in the city
Okay.
that I'm from, Charleston, South Carolina. Yes, this July we will be taking the Kenyan tourism as well as
Mm,
the city of Nairobi to
mm.
Charleston, South Carolina, where we
Wow.
just voted the first black mayor ever in the history of the city since slavery. And so we're
Wow.
super excited about to get
Wow.
our Kenyan counterparts
Mm,
in Charleston to learn about African American culture,
mm, mm,
history, what
mm.
we have contributed to the world, so that we could create a bilateral exchange through
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously you know that you know how important that is, and I would like to know from your perspective how important it is for us to learn from each other. Like I think the initiative that you're doing, I haven't seen something like that before. This is my first time actually taking people there and then bringing people there. How important is that for us to learn about each other and and our history?
Man, that's a great question. So we had the call to action, which was
Mm,
the beginning of the Journey Back to Eden initiative. We did it last year. We had over 100 participants here
mm,
in Kenya at Two Rivers Mall. We had African
mm,
Americans, we had Kenyans, we had Caribbean people, we had Hebrew
mm,
Israelites, we had all type of people at the call to action. And what I
mm.
wanted to do and what I wanted to see was if my concept of theory would work. What we
Yeah.
saw happen in Ghana was amazing, right? With the year return. But
Mm,
I think there were some gaps and holes. And no shade to Ghana. Shout out to our sisters and brothers in Ghana that are doing great things with the diaspora and within the continent. However,
mm,
I don't think that they made a concerted effort to create relationship processes through culture exchange. And let me explain
right.
what that looked like. And we did it at the call to action. So we
Mm,
had representation of 3 tribes of Kenya, which we know Kenya has 44 tribes. But we
mm,
had the Lua, the Kikuyu and Kisi representation, and we had 2 African Americans and 1 Caribbean person on a panel where we went over the 7 pillars of culture exchange
Yeah.
in front of the audience. And so we discussed, we had questions discussing 7 pillars: dance, language, food, history, spirituality, initiation processes, and business culture. And once we went over those pillars, we opened the floor for what we call our town hall discussion. And the questions and the feedback that we got was crazy, but it was intentional. And you can feel some of the tension because you got to remember, we have a 700-year gap between ourselves in America and the continent. So we are distant cousins at best. And so we are culturally different. And so there is a need to have these uncomfortable conversations. That's number one. Conflict resolution, because there are myths that we have about each other. And through the Pan-African movement, historically, we've often seen that we just come together and think that we can just kumbaya and everything will just go, fall in place. And that's not reality. The reality is that we're super different from each other. But watch this. This is why we approach it this way. The beauty is in the differences. And I know people would think I'm crazy. I keep saying that this is a part of the solution. The beauty is in the differences. And if we take the differences and leverage them to our advantage, because remember, all the difference is knowledge. That's it.
Yeah.
And if we take that and leverage that to our advantage, we can propel this movement of relationship building.
Yeah. And what, obviously, I think you have you have a lot of experience, related to that. And what do you think is the main obstacles when it comes to bring these two sides together? Because as I said, before, when I was opening, I met a lot of people who African descendants who have been very disappointed, came to the continent, and they did not see what they expected or what they heard or what they thought. Basically, like literally, the continent or the people rejected them, so they had to pack everything and to move back, and they hate it. And there are people who came here and embraced and are still here. So basically, there's this war between people of the continent and those who are living from the outside. And what do you think is the main obstacles that is stopping us from breaking that wall and just embrace one another?
The differences. Nobody want to talk about the differences because it's uncomfortable, right? It's a lot to unpack. We're talking about 700 years of differences, 700 years of colonialism, 700 years of enslavement of the mind and the body and the spirit, 700 years of not being able to converse with each other until technology was able to come on board and we actually got to see each other and say, hey, I'm going to travel. I'm going to have a conversation, right? So we're looking at a huge disconnect of differences, and we must have those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah. So basically, I think you're suggesting that the way to bridge that gap is by conversation, having open conversation about our differences and to see how can we work things out together. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So what is that specific thing you're doing in Kenya with your organization? Are you building a society there? Are you building the community? And what does it look like in 5 and 10 years to come? 50 years to come?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely. A great question. So what we are building here in Kenya, this model we actually have started to implement it in Central America as well, in Belize and Panama. And we hope to be in 63 other countries because we are global people, right? So we're not limited to just the continent. We are global people. And so we're going to take this model around the world. But let's talk about Kenya. With the Journey Back to Eden, as I said, this is a 3-year initiative for us
Yeah.
to create opportunities. We are not promoting an exodus. I'm not
Mm,
promoting repatriation.
mm,
In fact, I don't support repatriation, and I'm going to tell you guys why. Because
mm,
when you promote this to a group of people who are significantly different, who are
mm,
culturally disconnected
mm,
from certain African countries, just depend on which one you choose, you then sell to them that they're repatriated to a country that they're from, and that is not factual, right?
yeah.
But what we do is promote integration. We're
Mm,
integrating into a society that already exists while
yeah.
adding
Wow.
value. And so
Mm,
what we're doing with the Journey Back to Eden is simply creating options for African people globally, and as
mm,
well as creating that gap between the relationship building, as
mm,
well as now building the first luxury estate ever in all of East Africa, in
mm,
Kenya,
mm,
where African Americans or Africans of the diaspora and
mm.
Kenyans will live side by side. We have been
Wow.
given access to 164 acres from Muse Gitu, the chairman of the Mau Mau Freedom Fighters. And so
Really?
we are in the process of creating this estate, and we're working on getting the product finished and out to you all soon. For those of you all who have been following us, we've been
Mm,
working on it and updating you all for the process to get the product
mm,
out. But yes, we are building an estate. We have been given 40 acres to build on, 50
mm,
acres of farmland, and then
mm.
64 acres for a technical school. So we're super excited. Yes.
Wow. That's a lot. And you were given that for free, the land.
Absolutely not. Now you know these people ain't giving up for free now. No. We no, we paying for it. We paying for it, okay? But what he did was he gave us access to the land without having to give monies
Yeah,
up front.
yeah.
But yes, we are paying for the land.
Well, I love the fact that you're going to build this, community, this luxury, and also you're going to, mix, all the people together. I think that's very special. I always, I personally, I'm always, against, having these, diaspora community in the continent, and they're kind of like isolated from the people. And
Correct.
I think that's one of the main reason why we cannot come together, because the people in the land, sometimes they might be. I see this a lot of time that they can be intimidated. You know what I'm saying? Like they see someone who look like you but cannot speak your language, and then is living
Yes.
somewhere there. You know what I'm saying? So that gap, in order to reduce that gap, we need to bring our people together. And I love the fact that you're doing that with your initiative.
Yes. Thank you.
That's incredible. So everybody that is joining right now, if you, I would love to open as well the chance to those who are joining right now. If you have a question or whatever, feel free to drop down in the comment section. Question for Wakesho, so that we may actually ask her here. Oh, let me go through some of them. I appreciate for
Okay.
everybody who is joining on Instagram, on X, and TikTok. Appreciate. Let me just check if there's any question here. We have people from Ethiopia, joining, and Kenya, Michigan. All right, that's good. That's good. So I think before I end this session, I would love to talk a little bit about your vision. I think I really love when I was going through um, your biography. I love the last part of it, that I aspire to raise awareness about the significant contributions of African and Black individuals worldwide. Bringing this vision to reality is one of my utmost goal, and I'm steadily approaching its to realization. Can you talk a little bit about that? I really love it.
Yes.
Mm,
Absolutely. So our Traverse culture, let me tell you why I renamed, as I was going through rebranding, because my first baby was Worldviews, right? And
Mm,
that's self-explanatory, right?
mm,
But Traverse culture is the new baby, right? It's the upgrade of the first baby. And when I thought about Traverse culture, I lived in Estonia, and
mm,
I was speaking with an Estonian woman. And for those who don't know where Estonia is down near Russia. Um,
yeah,
and one thing I found out about them is that most of the country was atheist, which was quite interesting. And so I asked
mm,
her, why was the country this way? And she explained, that a lot of people felt discouraged, but as they moved along, then you start seeing the reverse of the country being atheist, right? And then
mm,
one of the things she said was that we were oppressed for 400 years. And
yeah,
I was looking at her like, whoa, that sounds familiar, right? And while
mm,
this woman did not look like me, we shared a cultural similarity. And
wow,
so when you look at travel, and I've been to 45 countries, I've lived in
mm,
7 of them, and
mm,
traveling the world, the nucleus what unites us all is culture through
yeah,
travel. And so that's
yeah,
how we got to Traverse Culture. And so the mission of Traverse Culture overall is showcasing the contributions of
mm,
African people or marginalized
yeah,
communities who are within the spectrum, who
mm,
often may not even look like us, but they are in the African spectrum, i.e.,
mm,
like Afro Mexico, or you go to Southeast Europe and Bulgaria, and we're dealing with the Gypsy people, or we go
mm,
to Papua New Guinea, we go to Fiji, we go to Guam. These are people of African descent, and we share a similarity in culture. And so, what we want to do as a travel concierge company is to be
mm,
able to go into these countries and implement Afrocentric regenerative travel. What
mm,
does that mean? That is going into these countries like Belize. When I went to Belize, I wanted to find a tour company that could give me Afrocentric tourism, and it didn't exist. So
mm,
instead of complaining about it not existing, I created it and presented it to the Board of Tourism for Belize to
mm,
implement Afrocentric regenerative travel, where we showcase the Garifuna people and the
mm,
Afro Belizeans who are not showcased through tourism or any policies that they have through the Board of Tourism. And so that is what we're doing for the entire world, while offering relocation services and business opportunities for African
mm,
people globally.
mm, mm. Wow, wow. That's incredible. I wanna ask you about what we do, not about what you do, but what we do.
Yes.
The reason why I started this mission, what I'm doing right now, it is also because it started in Korea when I went there.
Yes.
I went there as a Tanzanian, but the moment I
Yes.
got there, nobody recognized me or acknowledged me as a Tanzanian, but they called me an African. And
Right.
so all these Africans from all these different countries, from the continent, they went there, and all of us are categorized in one group as African. Some of them they don't even know where Tanzania is. To be honest, yeah. And and I was asking myself that I love my country. I want these guys to call me Tanzanian, but why they keep calling me African? At that moment, I was not embracing the Africanism. I just knew about my country because I've never been anywhere else. And so I introduced myself as a Tanzanian, but that's not how they saw me. And I was wondering that, okay, I was in Tanzania, I was in Africa, but I never thought about this. Now I'm here, I have a friend from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Senegal, South Africa, and we all see each other the same. And I was like, why this is not happening in the continent? Outside of
Mm.
the continent, when you find Africans, you see them, gathering together. Sometimes I'm just walking around the street. I just see a black man or black lady. I just greet them. I don't even know them. Hey, what's up? Because, they look like me. And I was wondering, like, why it's not happening in the continent. And I think that was the beginning of One Africa and my mission. And I was like, I think there's a lot of things that we can accomplish if we come together and we forget about, we can embrace it, but if it becomes a problem, if it becomes a reason for us to, let's say, to kill one another order to support one another, to stand for one another, then we need to rethink about, you know, all this stuff that we have in our mind. And my question to you is that how possible is that? You've been in the continent for some time right now. You know, how possible this dream of one Africa we want, you know, you see it happening? You know, is there a hope, or do you think there's no hope for that?
I would never say there's no hope. I think that it is a upward battle, though. I do believe that,
Yeah,
because again, it goes right back to differences, right? So even
yeah,
on the continent is actually one of the most diverse continents on the planet. While we
yeah, that's
all look like each other for the most part, um, it is the most diverse. And
mm,
so again, we're going to have to tackle colonialism and the
mm,
mindset first. I
yeah,
mean, that is the thing that is, I mean, affecting the
that's
continent, I mean, immensely.
mm,
And retrain the mind before we can even get to the cultures that have been cultivated through colonialism,
mm,
uh, and then addressing the differences to leverage them. Right. I
yeah,
honestly believe differences is what is going to be one of the key solutions. But before the continent can get to it, is definitely retraining the mind out of the colonialism mindset. And often you run into most of our African brothers and sisters throughout the
yeah,
continent with that mindset. So I do believe that we have hope. I believe that your cousins in America and the
mm,
Caribbean is a part of the solution. I
yeah,
don't believe that you all are supposed to do this on your own. I
mm,
believe that we play a part in that connective tissue, and
mm,
and coming together collectively as a part of the solution. So
yeah,
yes, I believe that there's hope, but I don't think that the continent will be able to do it on its own. It must lean on its diaspora.
yeah, yeah. Do you think we are struggling with the same thing? I'm talking about we in the continent, you know, went through, of course, it started with slavery and then it went through colonialism, and African descendants, our cousins, they went through, slavery. But do you think we both struggle with the same thing, or our struggle is different in a way? Because
No,
one of
no,
the, yeah.
no. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no. I was trying to say, because you mentioned something really important, and I think that is the chief among the problems that we go through in the continent. Decolonization of the mind. Like, our mind are still colonized. So even when we think about development, industrialization, and all these things, we still think based on European standards, and we forget that before this thing came, there's a way that we ran this place. There's a way that we survived. There's a way that we lived. And I kind of feel like we're losing focus. We can't even deal with the priority of Africa, like, basic needs: food, shelter, clothing, electricity, these days, internet, all this stuff. So I kind of feel like we are all over the place, and we're still struggling with that, mindset, because of colonialism. Is it the same struggle with our cousins away from the continent?
Absolutely. We struggle with the same thing. There's a slave mentality that still haunts the African American community in the States, as well as our Caribbean sisters and brothers. And so there has to be a reset of the mind across the board. But what I will say, and this is just my honest opinion, I do believe that it is our responsibility, meaning your cousins,
Yeah,
to bring the knowledge that we have had access to for hundreds of years to the
yeah,
continent, and
yeah,
bring the data that we've had access and we've held on to for hundreds of years to the continent. I believe that it is our responsibility, and that
yeah,
we should be able to leverage both resources
yeah,
once we find our tribe, because we're not going to be able to save all of Africa. We're not going to be
yeah,
able to save all of the diaspora, but we will find like-minded people like yourself to come
yeah,
together and be able to create what we deem to be a euphoria. So
yeah,
I think we do have hope, but we are struggling with the same thing. Yes.
yeah. I love that. I love that. I love what you said. And we came up with an initiative like a couple months ago, I guess like 6 months ago, the petition. So I hope the team, you can share that in the comment section. We have this petition that we say One Africa right now, and one of the things that we address to the African Union, to the African governments, is that to give African passport to the African descendants, and to give them a home in the continent, because I think this is not the time. I mean, we can actually choose. We can choose either to send our people away from the continent and then they will just remain there, or we can choose to give the access to our brothers and sisters that were taken a long time ago from the continent, or we sold them to come to their motherland and to actually bring that skills and knowledge that they have to share with the continent, to transform this continent for living. So we're asking them to to provide this African passport. We're asking them to remove visas, and these things, to be honest, they're doable. Like, it can happen, because that's one of the plan of African Union 2063. But we just demand it to happen right now and not 40 years from now, because there's a lot of things we're losing right now, and we cannot just wait for 40 years. We need it to happen right now, and we know it's possible. So if you guys, please sign that petition. The link will be in the comment section, so that we may get that access.
I agree 100%. We are also petitioning here in Kenya to add to the Journey Back to Eden initiative for anyone to invest through this initiative. And you have 6 entry points, which is agriculture, business development, investment opportunities in health, education, tourism, entertainment, and manufacturing, and agriculture, and then humanitarian work or the travel piece. If you invest, we are proposing to immigration here that you are given a 5-year temporary residential visa here in Kenya, or a 3-year work permit for the companies that you incorporate through this initiative. Now, what I will say is that they didn't tell me no, but they dang sure didn't say yes. And it will be a upward battle. So I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I don't want nobody taking this video and saying, "Oh, they gonna give us no black folks." Not yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah. I love that. I was just thinking, how much jobs and employment are you guys going to create, for the continent? The research shows that every single year we have more than 10 million Africans, graduate. They're searching for job, but only 3 million people. I mean, the continent only creates 3 million jobs, the entire continent. So that initiative, like what you're doing, I think it deserves to be, supported and promoted. So if you can, you will share with me the petition, and I'll share with my community as well, because we need to support each other, and we need to stand there for one another, for the sake of the motherland and our people.
Absolutely. We want to represent the diaspora as best as we can. We can't speak for all diasporans. However, we want to be able to enter this partnership with our counterparts here on the continent, and meet them halfway. And you guys have something we want, and that's security. That is to feel like you're wanted, to feel like you're at home, and ownership. Those are a few things that are super attractive, but more importantly, it hits home for you, right? And we have something you need. And so if we work together, we definitely can make this work. And so the way that we're looking at this initiative is we're looking at it from a lobbyist mindset. We understand that right now on the continent, the bottom line is money. And we can educate as we move along. We're not going to sit here and go back and forth like, oh, I want you to listen. Let's get to what we got to do. And we don't got to have 11 conferences and talking about, let's just do it. So we project that this initiative will garner 40 million in 6 months. And so when we put this on the table, now look, we brought 40 million in 6 months, and we're asking for you to go ahead and come up off of that immigration. So that's how we are approaching this thing, and this will be beneficial for everybody. I promise you it will.
Yes, Wakesho. Wakesho, last question. Somebody asked here in the comment section, how many plots of land in this first phase?
Okay, great, great, great. Okay, approximately black folks. Let me say this approximately because I know how black folks is. Um, four, four, four plots.
Uh-huh.
Four plots. We're gonna start off with four plots for the first phase. We hope to black folks. Next phase, 12 plots. Okay. Right now, we are not ready to take any reservations. We are still putting the product together for you all. One thing that we have in our community is trust issues. So we want to make sure that everything we put together is transparent and we have
True.
all the information you need. Because the last thing I need is people hitting me up talking about I'm saying them and all of this other
Mhm.
stuff. Because listen, black people, I have no time or energy to do that. I didn't come all the way to Kenya to do that. I am not doing this to scam anybody. This is for everybody to benefit off of. And as
Yes.
Monique says, I love y'all for real. Okay.
That's so true. I got attacked all the time. Last year we had this initiative about vanilla projects of smart farming, and oh my God, sometimes you ask yourself, why am I doing this? But
Yes.
because of that vision and what you and the mission that you have to work for, there's no way. You always you'll get 2 or 3 people who will stand with you, and that's what we got last year. So thank God that we still have that project going on, and hopefully in March or in April, we'll be able to get our returns. Oh yeah,
Oh, good. Yes,
yes, yeah.
good. You got to keep it straight up with black folks. Somebody told me the other day, move in silence and
Yeah,
and, and and I get it. I get it. And sometimes you're too authentic. Sometimes you're too. No, you can never be too
absolutely.
authentic for black folks. You just
Yeah.
can't. So I'm gonna be me, and you either gonna take it or not. But you see my intentions. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
about. And so you will meet people who are going to go against the grain. We're going to meet people who are going to say, oh, they're scamming and they're doing all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, we know what we're doing. And
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? This ain't even personally beneficial to me. This is for
Yeah.
people I'll never meet a day of
Mhm.
my life. I'll be dead and gone. And
Yeah.
everybody else will be able to benefit from this. So that's really what it's about. And I really do love us for real.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Have you been Tanzania?
I've been to Tanzania. I love Tanzania. Tanzania is one of the countries that will be bringing this initiative to as well.
Ah, all right. I mean, I'm very excited. When I visit Kenya, I would love to come and to see and maybe to do another episode there with you. But Wakesho, this is your family now. Every time I have conversation with people, they become member and part of the family. This is your family now. Anytime you have something you'd like us to cover, like us to have conversation, you're welcome anytime. You got my number. And if there's anything that we can help, that we can support, that we can partner, that we can work together, that door is open as well. We'd love to do so.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us and your passion and your love for the motherland with us. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed this conversation today.
Thank you so much for having me. And likewise, whatever we need to do to help you propel, that's what we'll do.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'll see you.
Peace.
Yeah, guys. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Hey, I appreciate everybody that show up. I appreciate, my sister Wakesho. I keep I keep mixing her name because I have one of a friend called Wekisha. So there's Wekisha, and then her name is Wakesho. Yeah. So this was really nice conversation. I generally enjoyed it. And for those who came late, perhaps you did not get to see our conversation from beginning to the end. You can actually just go back and watch this stream. But I send my regards to Wakesho and the entire community of Traverse culture. You guys are doing incredible. And for everybody who came here today, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. And Njoroge Gitome, welcome to the family. Has just become a member of this family. I appreciate you for choosing and deciding to stand with us and to become a member of this family. And if there's anyone who is watching here and you would like to become a member as well, you know, it's one of the ways that you actually support this cause. The link is in the comments section. Go ahead and click that, and you're gonna enjoy it. But also, let me share the link for the petition. I asked the team to share this link, but I will share it here again. That's okay. Let me copy. Let me copy this again. Copy, then can paste here. Okay, that's a link for the petition as well. You can go through that, and also there's other link just in case if you want to join and become my Patreon. I will share the link right there in the comment section as well. And so many links, guys, so many links in here. But anyways, I'm almost done. Almost done. The last link, all these links, you can actually find them. You can access them in the description. They're there, so you can access them and you can enjoy. All right, guys. Before I close this session, you know, our goal right now is to hit 500,000 subscribers and help us out by subscribing, liking, and watching our content. I have very exciting. We are preparing very exciting contents right now. Very exciting. So you'll see the shift of our contents a little bit because you're going to focus more on producing our own contents. With all saying that, you know, today at 8 p.m., there's a new video we're releasing, and it's a video about Congo. We're releasing today. So please make sure you tune in for that. It is very important to hear and to stand with Congo. Congo is one of the country that is going through a lot for over 3 decades. And for some reason, it kind of seemed like we're not paying close attention to what is happening. And what is happening right now, today in the morning when I was praying, I really felt in my spirit that, you know, something very significant is happening in Congo right now. Very significant. And there's a big shift is going to happen to Congo. And it will only happen if the entire continent of Africa will stand with Congo. We as an Africans, we need to stand with one another. We need to defend one another. We need to fight for one another. It's very important. Whatever country, if Congo is not at peace, Africa is not at peace. You understand that? If Ethiopia is not at peace, Africa is not at peace. So the best thing that we can do is to stand with one another. And very significant things happening right now in Congo. The people of Congo, they've been fighting for a long time, all right? And they need our support. They need us as brothers and sisters to stand, you know, with them. They need us to raise our voices and to speak on behalf of them. You know what I'm saying? Right now, they're just trying to find a better place to live, demonstrate, and do this and that. And a lot of them are dying. But, you know, we need to back them up. We need to lift them up. We need to be there for them. All right. You cannot ignore. It has been happening for more than 3 decades. If you don't know what is happening, you haven't been paying attention. 3 decades is more than 30 years, guys. It's my age. I'm 31 years of age. That means before I was born and after I was born, and right now I'm here, they've been going through something. You know, so if you don't know what they're going through, you know, watch this video today. I share the link in the comment section. You know, watch that video. Knowledge is power, and it's very important to be informed, so you can know, you know, what can you contribute, you know, to Africa, to the continent, to the people of Congo. It's very important. Sometimes even you just, you know, tweeting, you know, you praying, you know, and you know, sending your love message. Today is Valentine, so sending your love message to our people, you know, it will mean something. You know, it will mean something. So, you know, don't avoid these things. I talked with a lot of my friends, African friends. Most of them, they avoid. They don't want to hear the news. They don't want to hear what's going on because, you know, their hearts, you know, they're struggling in their hearts. You know, they get hurt. And so they decide not to catch up with the news of Africa or catch up what is happening. You know, I understand. Maybe you're not into, you know, politics and all these things that are happening, but this is not just about politics, but it's about the lives of our brothers and sisters. Right. And the only way for you to think about the solution and what to do, you need to be informed. You need to know what is going on. You need to know how our people are being, you know, killed and suffered and, you know, and tortured. And you need to know that. And if you want a better future for Africa, then we need to do something for our kids. Otherwise, the next generation is not going to be there. We're not going to have, we need to do our part, you know. So I really want to invite all of you guys to do that, and it's going to be amazing. And, you know, once again, before I close, thankful to Traverze Culture for being here. Yeah, I believe they have a YouTube channel as well. So it's right here. So please go and subscribe. Let me see here if they do have, so that I can share the link as well. Oh yeah, Traverze Culture. If you're watching, you can perhaps share the link of your YouTube channel and Instagram, just in case you want to get connected and you want to see, you know, what they're doing, and you want to follow them and you want to subscribe. Please do so. Yeah, Traverze Culture. This is I believe this is their YouTube channel. Yeah, so you can go and subscribe, but also the same name on Instagram as well. If you go, you type that name, you'll find them on Instagram. They update. I mean, my sister, she's live almost every single day. So you'll be able to, you know, to be updated like every single day once you join them and you follow them. All right. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for everybody being here. I'm just gonna give thanks to God and get out of here. God, I thank you for today. Thank you for the conversation that we had, and thank you for Africa. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for the strength. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for the love. Thank you for peace. Thank you for the unity. And thank you for the gift of life that you've given us. I just pray that, God, as we close this session, you will continue to speak to us, help us, walk with us, so that, God, as we keep fighting, keep acting, keep doing something, we'll actually carry on till the end. It's very easy to be disappointed, to give up, but we're not going to give up for the sake of our next generation. 100 years later, we want them to read our stories, to watch these videos, and to know that our grandfathers and mothers, they were there fighting for us 100 years ago. And so, God, I give you praise and thanks. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen, amen. Guys, thank you for being here. I got to get out of here. Please watch our videos and stay connected. Very excited for the contents that we have. We already have videos for tomorrow, but it's very special content. Anyways, but you guys will see. You are going, this is one of those times that you're going to be so proud that you're a subscriber and you're a part of the family of SNOA. This is one of those times. Anyways, guys, I love you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.